Hello, my name is Cheyenne Schwinn, and here is the work that I've been doing for this past sprint week. So, we're going to go ahead and get right into this here. Slideshow from the beginning. Wrong display. Okay. So, this is the June work week 1 out of 4. We are going into the month of June, this month 10, with Roy Pap, and I'm an online student remote from Illinois. The work hours required for the project for myself right now are 10 hours a week. My current completed hours for this work week are 10 hours, and my current completed this month is 10 hours. The expected hours by the end of the month will be 40. So I am working on narrative design and storytelling. Right now, I currently have 10 hours for week 1, and then I have hours that started from Friday through Saturday and Sunday because of the holiday on Monday and just winding down from the holiday and then getting things situated for some real life stuff. I ended up having to um, pretty much push all my stuff to this weekend, um, and just currently a few hours ago finished this work for Sunday. This is my burn up chart for sprint 1. So basically I started my hours with work from June 2nd, June 3rd, and June 4th. And that completed my total hours of 10 hours for this sprint. And that's just showing my daily hours. It looks like yeah, those are the daily hours that I had. So basically, did 2 hours on June 2nd, did 5 hours on June 3rd, and to complete the rest of the hours for 10 hours was June 3rd. So basically, the first few hours was meetings. At midweek, our team had a meeting, and then we also met, or I also met with a team member and went over things. Later in the week, we also had another meeting to get some structure down for our ideas and start plans for next sprint, which is literally next week. Not even next week. It's at this point, it's today. um, and then now we're going to be working on things for the rest of the sprint. Man, it's going faster than I thought. So I got a project update video here for week 1. I was just going to, if I remember where it was. Nope, I have so many things open that I have forgotten where it was. Okay, here it is. Hello, my name is Cheyenne Schwinn, and so basically, I'm gonna turn that down. So basically, I just went over the notes here from the meetings. I am here with some notes. I am currently working with my team here. We got a little Discord jumping up here. So in simplicity, we got a Discord setup. We got a bunch of ideas and assets and a Trello running and a bunch of other things that we're starting to get into production there. I'm sorry if I didn't. I met with. Oh, sorry. I met with them. I can't pronounce their name right. I'm pretty sure it's Vivek, maybe. If it's wrong, I'm sorry. Name, I hope I did. I'm sorry. Right? Like, this is right after the meeting. So basically, I took notes before the meeting, just a bunch of things here. Got some ideas down, and this was before I saw what was already made. And then we talked about ideas that could be something from there. So outside of these ideas, really the only ideas that we sort of stuck with were the diary pages and the retro levels. I think we agreed on having a Mario level and having a Pac-Man level so far, and seeing where our scope is after doing those two levels. So, pretty change or something. This is super early on anyway. This is the first week or the end of the first week. I'm just making a little bit of a video just to tell what I was working on. So basically, this is like like super pre idea, before things started getting fully into what we were going to be working on for this project in this game. Um, Basically, I took on making base letters to introduce characters, themes, and possible monsters, scenarios, etc. I tried to take a diverse look into characters, add as many different characters as possible, and later on thought about an idea while I was actually setting up this presentation, and then also pitched that idea in our ideas tab in our Discord, to have pre-generated notes. Like every time you play, you get different backstory and different character interactions with creatures, different viewpoints of what people felt and what people acted like to this phenomenon that happened in the human world and then brought into the alternate universe. Because of the ideas that we came up with during our meeting. So down here, we had basically advanced AI open portals that have creatures that they are controlling to stop the player from closing the portals and basically defeating them. Or we have different portals have different retro games that the player has to get through in order to win by closing the portals. So I think we sort of had gone with that idea. Pete's the last thing they heard was the one that's in the basement of SCP Containment Breach. If you ever played that before, I was talking about the SCP that's in the basement of SCP's Containment Breach. Sort of how, like, the monster repeats the last thing that someone said. That'd be sort of an interesting kind of concept to put to basically like confuse humans, I guess. And then maybe the creatures do that, or have a version of their own way to do that. I think I was talking about maybe the radios doing that. But there's a whole bunch of things that I talked about. So I'm just gonna do a quick run over. Um, so yeah, we just had ideas for all of that, and then coming back up to here. Basically, we went with the retro level idea, and then the way that this is working is the things that I made basically is humans that have gone through these levels and have died in these portals or may have survived. We don't know for sure. It's just you don't find a bloody letter that has that person's name on it. If that is the case. Um, I was possibly thinking about making some pictures of children experiencing stuff in these worlds, like Photoshop pictures that could have like a monster drawn on them. We don't have exact pictures of what the monsters will look like yet, so um, maybe if after the character creators and the people that are making the skins and textures and stuff does said thing there, we can have an idea of what we can use to sort of describe what these creatures will look like, and I could make a childish looking digital drawing to throw in with a with the note system to show that children have been here too, because I actually also have one that a child was in already in one of my journals. And as I said, will be possibly including drawings in it. Yeah, I was just talking about the same things that I was doing here. So that was pretty much just a update video that I was giving myself to remind me about what I did and what we were working on. So now we are moving into the actual narrative diary pages. I started these diaries on June 3rd, continued them throughout the rest of, what was it, today? I don't remember what the chart said. I thought I worked on them pretty much Friday through Sunday, which is today, because I did an extra one. I don't know if I counted that. I have to look back into it and see if I did. Um, so we have Danny Rogers. I basically just made it out to be what is the character, what are the notes. Here's that first note, the second note, and if it's a bloody note, the person's dead. Or it could be a fake bloody note, which means the person could be injured or could have hurt someone else. So basically, I just started drafting ideas for notes and characters who have gone through the horrors of the retro games, and each person has different ways they proceed, or sorry, not, each different ways they process and proceed through the level. Um, and basically, they're just talking about what they're seeing, what they're feeling, things about their past, things about their relationships, their religion. Um, th- just stuff to give the level a feeling that it's being lived in at this moment and it's populated, but there it's like so big that people barely ever run into each other. Um, you know, AI can calculate things very well, so it can calculate how much space each person needs to slowly drive them mad and either make them kill someone, kill themselves, or they get caught by the creatures. Um, so here we have a very short example. Note one was I always knew that it would come to this. Hopefully there are some useful things in this place, or I'm toast, man. And then note two, I saw it. It's disgusting the way it sounds. Am I getting out of here alive? And bloody note three says I cornered myself. Should I take matters into my own hands? I guess this pen would do good enough. I hear it. It's coming. I can't take it. Leave. Leave while you can. I'm out of here. So it's just a small a small story. Just it sort of gives you a feel about how this guy um is. I'm toast man, or let's see, I'm out of here. Like, little things sort of give you a feeling of how this person acted in their actual life, and not in this alternate world. What kind of person they were before all this stuff happened. So then we have some longer stories. How I started formatting these, as I mentioned before, was that separate notes will be spread in whatever level it will go in. As our artists start making more monsters and assets, I can add monsters, ghosts, game level descriptions, creature descriptions, encounter descriptions, and so all of these are just pre-made. I didn't edit them, I didn't change anything. It's just pre-made. We'll edit later once things start getting formatted, which hopefully will be in this next week. Um, so basically, we got a format of notes. So normal notes, as I said, note 1, note 2, note 3. Bloody note are for notes that indicate that the character is no longer with us in the player's reality, which usually means that they are dead, but it could be a fake bloody note because they hurt someone or someone hurt them. Um, so I'm not going to go through all of these. I will show each one just so it can be paused and read. Um, Basically, it's a whole bunch of different things. Just we have a borderline um, of characters and how each person feels and acts in this alternate world and alternate universe being controlled by this AI. Um, we have Amy Shield here. She obviously has worked because it says, I knew we went too far with this. We can't I can't believe we created such an intelligent source of power. So you can guess that Amy Shield worked in wherever this AI was created, and basically is getting ready to die to their creation, because it says on the bottom here, all creators must face their creation, and all creations must face their creators. So you see that there are many different people that got trapped here. So it could be a random person, it could be someone that worked on the project. Just depending on the kinds of notes players pick up, it will change how the player feels in the game, and how the notes are randomized could create new story and background for each player every time they play. So it sort of gives a replayability feeling to the game. From with all these different stories and backgrounds, and could possibly open room for more levels in the future. Um, Maybe even I've had seen some games that they have it where you can leave your own note, and then that player gets the other player's note. So that'd be sort of interesting to have that be something there. Of course, to keep it safe, we'd probably have like pre pre-made sentences, to keep it safe for all ages, because we know how people are nowadays. But that'd be sort of an interesting idea to do later on outside of the classwork here. So we are moving on to ideas and concepts. I took a little bit of a break and threw together that idea and concept and threw it in our Discord. Um, for the idea for replayability on the game by having, the other humans, or making it seem like other humans had went through the place, causing more replayability for the game. Gives more background, more story, creates new story if the character that the person's playing, or if the player themselves haven't ran across those notes before. A different set of notes will spawn in each time the person um, dies and re-enters the world. Maybe it could even be the player, because if the player character continues to stay anonymous, um, that means that the player actually never really knows who they really are. So one of those notes could have been their past player, even if at some point the player didn't go and write a note or something. It could be guessed that there has been plenty of humans that came through here. One human dies, another human shows up, and the AI just keeps it moving along. So that could be sort of an interesting idea. And then we have further narrative diary pages. I created different types of stories and backgrounds, and started adding in some extra things like religion and ages. So in this note, you can see the diversity in age and religion as it comes to this character. It shows in her notes from how she has more of a fragile way of wording her feelings, and documentation of a prayer before being cut off, most likely from being captured by the creature or ghost that is wandering about the levels. There you can see what monster would take a 60-year-old woman like me and put them down here in this dark place. Um, and then talking about a dog, so there's pet owners in this place, there's old ladies in this place. They all have a name to give them a diversity of culture. I am using cultural names from different backgrounds, and I also created a few of my own names. So some of them are just made up, some of them are actually real names that people have had, that I've seen on the internet, that I've seen in person in my colleges, people I've talked to in person, just mixed in with my project here. So, moving forward, you see here the this prayer here, and it gets cut off by pretty much her most likely dying. um, and then not every character dies. I was just creating a bunch of very dramatic letters in the beginning, and then I have a few different ones in there. This one is talking about this guy that's looking for his daughter, explaining what she looks like, that she has a beautiful, bright smile, that she has kink brown hair and ivory skin. Um, she's she's lost. He's trying to find her. We get some. Uh, we get a name. Charity is her name. We get a work background of the father. He was not at home that day or today whenever the TV static thing happened, opening all the portals. So when he went through the portal, he just got home from work at the Go Show Theater because he's the people that do that shows you to your seat for theaters. So he worked a double shift, and that's how he blames himself for losing his kid. Um, and then he's just been there. It feels like he's been there for so long that he saw like this creature carrying a piece of his daughter, and it made him pretty much go crazy. But later on, the notes actually mix together sometimes with different characters, so it creates a new narrative story feeling, um, depending on what was written. Um, he says, I'll hand hell my soul if I could have been there to save her. So I'll sacrifice it now to be with her. Don't worry, baby girl, daddy's here. So Malik is not playing. He's about to fight whatever has his little girl. So we're moving on to Nathan Lance. Um and here we can see basically right here the mix of the fake bloody note, because something happened but it didn't kill Nathan Lance. It was Nathan Lance who got someone else. So Nathan Lance is just talking about like this place is weird. You get a feeling of how he is by the way he's talking. Um, I don't know if this is some boo kind of crap, like ghost stuff, man, but I need to get out of here but get out of here when you can. And then you get, whoops, sorry, uh, back. So then you get, dude, you'll never believe what I just witnessed. These things, mind control or something. I swear some dude just tried to attack me. He was raving about hair and static, which we saw in the last note about the guy Malik seeing like something holding hair in its hand and like skin, um, and he was raving about hair and static. I don't know. Um, I don't think he knew what he was doing. I had to take my switchblade to a man. So that's basically indicating that Nathan had to defend himself against this crazy guy that's like seeing his daughter on Nathan, but that wasn't what it was seeing. So it's like the static has like people hearing things, it has people seeing things, and it's all crazy. um and then he threw a light up shoe at him, which is the shoe that Malik found in one of the hallways, and it looked like a kid's shoe. So yeah, it's it's a little heavy. But yeah, so then now Nathan's starting to hear or see things, and he's seeing like fog and smoke, things that are floating, darknesses that are popping up, sort of like random anomalies. Um, and then he saw something huge there, huge. He didn't know what it was, but it towered, and he's like 6 foot, and he was just talking about how tall he was and how tall these things are. So you get a feeling about how big these creatures can get and how creepy they can be. Like, they can be huge and walking, they could be crawling on the ceilings, they could be inside of the walls. Who knows? And that will format over time as we get more of our enemies in our game. Um, And then I put I in the bloody note here. I am running. If you find this, delete my files. Actually, just burn the damn computer. My address is uh, L.A. Notes cuts off. So that's the end of Lance of Nathan Lance. Going over to Jenny Park. This is the basic Starbucks girl that already broke a nail. Her shoes are covered in mud, and someone screamed in her ear and ran in the other direction. She has no idea what's going on. She found a notepad on the floor and tried to put her phone number out there for someone to call her. um, Doing the little horror joke of the pretty girl always dies first. I threw that in there. She was like telling people what she was seeing, and you can get a feeling of she's a little bit of a nerd, but her pretty girl vibe comes out more. She just saw the a kid standing at the end of a dog. I don't know what I was saying head of a dog for, but end of the hall. That was a weird way to say that. And then half of its head was missing. It ran away, and she was sick to her stomach about it. That shows like a feeling that maybe this could be like a spirit of the little girl, like uh haunting this place now after being killed by one of the creatures. It's creepy. It's very creepy, crawly, skin crawly. That was the whole point of it. Um, and then she died from trying to scream into the phone to the government to ask for help when her cell phone was staticky. So that was the end of Jenny. So I don't want to make it too heavy. I try to bring some light into some of this stuff so it's not um, too, you know, too harsh. And then we got someone called Dr. Santos. So again, cultural name. It's more of a Hispanic-esque name. I have some people named Santos at my school or my dad's school that he works at, and then I also got some people at my work that's named Santos, and they're Hispanic or Spanish. So I use that one just because to have that diversity in there. Um, so has some different lingo than other people. Has bigger words. He thought of an idea of taking his watch and ripping one of the cameras down, just like pulling it and ripping a camera down off the wall. Took it apart and found out that the inside of the camera was empty. It was just a red light and a lens. So he was wondering, like, why are the cameras set up? There's nothing in it. So it gives a new view to the game. So he went and ripped down another camera. Nothing in it. Maybe it was a coincidence. Who knows? We don't know if we're being watched or anything. I don't know if we're going to be using cameras in the game yet. I just put that in there from what I saw from my meeting with the person that I talked about earlier. And then he went and got his ear ripped off by the wall because the wall was like alive, sort of, or whatever was on the wall was alive. So when he listened to the wall, his ear got ripped off by the wall and sank into the wall. um, I have some art references in there, like the guy feels like Van Gogh. Everyone knows who Van Gogh is. If you don't, what are you doing with your life? um, and then just some light-hearted comments, like looks like he's making a phone call with his shirt, just to mix up the narrative a little bit and make it not so heavy. And then we got Maria Ramirez. We have her note. She is actually adding some Spanish in there. I hope that's right. Maybe I'll have to ask my sister. She knows some more Spanish than I do, and she's learning Spanish. But I actually did just look up in like Google Translate. How do you say this? So there's some Spanish words in there, and then you got some English words so people can sort of understand what's going on. I tried to say something close to what was already said in Spanish in English next to it. So like Padre Celestial, Dame Frutza. I am pretty sure I said that totally wrong. But it's pretty much God give me strength. Um, so that is here. Um, she's down to the point. She doesn't want to waste time getting messing with the paper. She thinks this is some kind of satanic thing that's going on. So then something happened. She started writing down a Spanish prayer, and it cuts off. Bye Maria. We got Liam Duffy, and I am also adding a variety of sexual identity as well in this little note series that I have from Liam Duffy and his lover Zachary. I want to make sure that I can pretty much cover all of the boxes with these little stories, so everyone feels included. That's just what today is like. We want to see people that feel like they are part of things in games, and that is not very common in video games lately, especially in just horror games, because horror games are like sort of focused around getting that horror like story to you, but creating these characters sort of gives it a big open platform to be creative with these kind of characters and their personalities. Like Liam here is sort of cute and funny. He's has a memory and also has a disability, which is he is deaf. So he can't hear any of the creatures. He can smell and see them, but he can't hear them. He can also feel them. So it's sort of interesting to read like a different point of view of someone that has an impairment, because you think about like back then, like what would people do if they didn't have like if they were hard at hearing, they didn't have hearing aids to hear in today's time. Like I know that there was I think A Quiet Place is what it's called, maybe not, I don't know. This girl had a hearing aid piece because she couldn't hear without it. So every time you put that on during the movie, whenever she put it on and she turned it up, she can hear the creatures growling. And sometimes if she took it off and the creatures in the room, she didn't even know, and we're just sitting there like, I have goosebumps just thinking about it right now. So I want to give those goosebumps to the readers of these notes, like, oh my gosh, I really want to root for this adorable little guy here, um, feeling the floor, hoping that there is no creature about to stomp over to him and rip him in half. So, yeah, I put some background in here, and then this is the little story series of Liam and Zachary, where Liam gets departed from Zachary because some kind of wall pops up. It's like the AI is trying to separate everyone, which is sort of the idea of that anyway, is that the AI is trying to separate each person. I think in a previous note, someone said power it's power in numbers, and they're trying to create singular people on purpose to have more power, which is what the AI is doing. It's wanting power. So more diverse characters equals happier people equals newer and more interesting narratives and things that people can read for fun. So then we have Nadia. Um, I put this one together as well, using a cultural name. I have Arabic cousins, and I also have had Arabic friends and classmates before. So I added few names that I remember from past classes, past schooling, and also from my family. So, um, pretty much just another story here. Um, but Nadia did something different, which she had a planned out, like what people are gonna do, and she talked to Jamil um, about what was going to be done, and then she got separated from him. She was supposed to meet her neighbors in this place. Someone said that they worked for the company and they knew how to get into the AI and out into their real reality. Like their reality they were in was being taken over by AI, and they needed to get to the new reality or dimension that had no AI in it yet. And now something went wrong and all of them are not together. Nadia's hearing screams and then silence. Wasn't sure if it was Jamil or not. She's counting the minutes down, the hours down, 45 minutes, 3 hours and 33 minutes. Maybe she's gonna stop counting. And then she heard Jamil calling for her. Remember what I said about the SCP? That could be Jamil, or maybe it's not. So we don't know. I don't know if anything like that's going to be in our game yet. I think we're going to be doing a lot more 2D than 3D. I thought we were supposed to go from 3D to 2D and then back to 3D. I'm not sure how that's going to work. That's going to be a big thing for the developers. But yeah, that is all the work that I did for the hours that I had. Yeah, for this week. Um, I have my information here just from my capstone work, my LinkedIn Mastery Journal portfolio, my personal portfolio, which has my photography and art in it, graphic art, and then some of the stuff from Full Sail here. And then my YouTube channel, which my recommended playlist for the YouTube channel's playlist would be the school videos and projects playlist. This will be on here and on the projects playlist, obviously because it's for school. And then I have further stuff that I have done put in there as well. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get going. I had to make this really fast and hope that everything looked good. Thank you for your time, and yeah, I hope these charts were alright. I did talk to someone about it. They said that it was good, or it explained like what my hours were like. I was sort of questionable about the charts, but hopefully that made a bunch more sense. Basically, I'm just doing narrative design and storytelling right now. I don't have any other special things that I'm doing. I'm just making notes. And then most likely after we get some characters set up and levels blocked out and things like that, then I'll have some more work to do. But for right now, I can't really do anything until I get some development into this work so we know what needs to be written for the story to go from one point to another point and another, etc., etc. All right. Again, thank you for your time and have a good morning because it is 1 a.m. All right. Goodbye.